Hey guys, the Dude2 here, and going to be working through the Joseki Compass book. I believe I did the first start point in the book, and I gave a preview of the second Joseki we're going to do. It's another start point, and hopefully we'll work through that. This one's going to be a little longer and more detailed than the first Joseki. Quite a bit actually, so it might take a little bit of time. So get your board out and stones, and let's work through this together. Let's check the old camera view here. There we go. Should be good. Let's see. Wrong one. All right, let's do this one. Works better. Sorry, I got a kid's track in the background. Hopefully that is not too disturbing for you. Let's scoot this over a little bit. Okay. This is the book that we're going over. It's called Joseki Compass. It's made by Baduktopia. You can buy it on Amazon, Baduktopia.com, or Yellow Mountain Imports. It's a really good book. It's like $13, $14, and it covers 20 or more Joseki. So last week, the Joseki we went over is the very basic start point Joseki that everybody knows. You get the approach here. I'll try to keep my hand out of the camera. This seems to be the best angle for the webcam, so this is what I'm going with. I'm going to block by black and extend by white. We went over what happens if, for example, white only approaches here, right? How you would block, or what if, you know, when white plays here, what if black plays here and tries to cut, or what if black plays here, right? We went over different variations. It's going to be very similar to that with this new start point Joseki that we're going to go over today, and we're going to use pretty much the same format as last time. We're going to show the Joseki. We're going to go through the various drills of the book, and we're going to show good and bad results when the Joseki is not met. It's a pretty common Joseki in Joseki books, but I really don't see it very often, probably because people are worried about a certain cut and they don't know how to handle it because it's a little complicated. Hopefully we'll go over that a little bit. But it's the same approach. I believe the first few are going to be of this nice approach, and then black's going to do an attach on the top, and white will answer with a hane. Black's going to pull up. White's going to push through. Black's going to block. White's going to back off. Here or here, the book says. But we'll do with the one the book actually says. And then black's going to protect cut point by playing right here. This is a Joseki. This is called Start Point 2, and this is the one we're going to go over. So let's kind of go over it real basically, real basically. Actually, you know, I'm going to move my stones over here on this side, and hopefully that'll make things a little easier. Okay, so I'm not reaching over here. I could reach over here. Hopefully this will make things a little better. So white approaches. Now, whenever there's an attach, Basic Go theory says the rule is attach, hane, extend, and this rule is followed in this Joseki. So there's an attach and a hane and an extend. Now, white wants to push through and steal some of this, right? And at the same time get some kind of base, so white's going to push through. And now black wants this corner for himself. This is what's basically happening. So black's going to push down. Now white has a weakness here, a cut point weakness that could just tear this all up. So white wants to protect his weakness. And now black has a weakness. If white pushes up and cuts, it could cause all kinds of trouble for black. And black doesn't want to have to deal with this. So black's going to protect his weakness too. Now this is a theory I've been asked about lately, and it's a theory called the theory of equal exchange. Josekis try to follow this theory where if you look at it, it looks like black has a better end of the deal, and I agree. It seems like black has a there's a little bit of reducing Aji here, but really black has a nice most of the corner and a nice fourth line territory and good influence, right? White has a fairly stable group. So how is this an equal exchange? Well, it's an equal exchange. A lot of people would say because it's white has Sente, so white could take the next big point, which should equal out the exchange, right? Black approaches and gets Sente with this. So this is something to consider being black, right? You're saying I want this big area. Well, you may or may not get it, but you're definitely giving white the ability to approach and then to approach again. So it's something to think about with this Joseki. Okay. Hopefully, as we go through these Joseki videos, we'll be able to build on this concept of even exchange between both parties, right? Just to cover really quick, and then we'll move on. This Joseki here is very well known as a fairly even exchange Joseki. Not all Josekis are, but if you look, you're really kind of splitting the corner, right? The corner split, white gets a bit of a base over here, and black gets a nice area over here. That's not super safe, but it's black's turn, right? Black can choose to make this super safe or to play elsewhere, wherever the next big move is. So it's true, white approached, and in this case, black ends up with Sente. So white approach gets a better base, black gets Sente. In the other instance, white approaches, black gets a better base, white gets Sente. So each of the Joseki, you want to keep all these in mind when you play the Joseki, who's going to get Sente, where you're going to play your Sente move, and the Josekis usually lead to some type of equal exchange when played correctly. So let's see what happens when the Josekis are not played correctly. So these are the examples from the book. So we have an approach, and then we have what starts proper. Now, we know that for the Joseki, white wants to Hane. Well, let's just assume that white plays very passively this way, right? So we have black just tidying up, right? Black's going to push in, and black's going to cut him off. So what happens if white cuts? White cuts. 9, 10. This is a general idea. You're going to play down like this. 11, 12. And black's going to play this move here. This is threatening to kill these, right? So we can't have that. So white's going to pull out. Black does a double Hane. He's threatening to play down here. White's going to protect. Nothing here, right? Now to live, white's going to have to play this move down here. Otherwise, black's going to come in and kill these. So white plays here to save this. And now black can continue with his profit. 20. And black will allow white to push from behind as far as he wants. Now what do we get? White gets this little corner here, and second line territory, and first line territory, and black gets this huge influence. So all because black didn't play the proper Joseki move. Or I'm sorry, all because white didn't play the proper Joseki move, black gets a very nice result. And this will happen a lot in your Josekis. let's continue with the idea of not playing the Joseki proper with just a push. Right, so we're approached. Black plays here instead of the Hane. Let's go ahead and push, and then this idea here again, and we'll do a Hane, and white decides to play underneath. White fixes. I'm sorry, black fixes, right? And then white's got to maybe come out here, and then black will come out here. White has to fix this. This is also very damaging for white. You know, white fixed this. If black wants to keep pushing down, he can keep pushing down. But generally speaking, black will want to come over here and make this wall nice and stable. And I mean, as you can see, this is a good moyo starting for black, and this is pretty poor white position. If white wants to maybe finish off his area, I mean, who's better? Black's definitely better. So this would be a good way of punishing your opponent's mistake if he doesn't properly answer Joseki, and this would be how somebody would punish your mistake if you just casually push. Let's look at the other variations. There's a couple given here. I guess the next question would be after you continue here, and white plays up. What happens if black doesn't do the next Joseki move, which is play up? What if black plays passively this way? What do we do then? Well, book recommends white just playing here. This is a very strong shape point, and black is not making very efficient use of his stones. Right now, white could push in at will, and so if black decides to stop white pushing in, white just fixes his shape very nicely. Right, and now white can launch an attack on the poor shape of black by playing a move something like this. This kind of prevents black from making a nice base, from moving up, and then black's going to want to defend this way. This is very damaging for black. White's just, you know, one, maybe two moves away from sealing him in totally, and white's very nice. He's got an eye made. He's got good potential. Right, he could play here, he could make a base this way. I mean, white's just in great shape, black is not in very good shape. So this, let's give another example of black playing passively and not pushing properly. So we have an approach, and we have the attachment, right? And then we'll have white playing the proper move, and this time black's going to play up, which is the proper move. And now white plays over. Now we know the proper move for black, according to Joseki, is here. But let's just assume that black decides to play very passively. He thinks this very sturdy position is very nice. So we got here, and then black's going to play down. White can now play this little move right here, and then when black decides to play over, white could just extend. Now, either way, this is considered very good for white. If you saw the other situations, white was on the first, second line, right? Black just made it so that now he's pushed out and he's making fourth line territory, which is very nice. It's true black has a nice solid area, but compared to what he would have had, which would be like all of this, and nice influence, now he doesn't even have really the corner. It's kind of split, and if white gets a chance, you know, he could either play a move like this, which allows him to jump off and then jump in, or he could play some type of move over here, forcing black, you know, to kind of being cramped. So not a very good position for black right there. He's solid, but not well used to the stones. The book goes over two more different mistakes. So let's cover them now. This is this is for an approach, right? So good way to train. Just keep going here, right? So we have the attachment, and then white does the proper play, and black also does the proper play. But now white, instead of pushing through, decides to play extra safe and just block right here. Well, the problem, as we learned from the other video, this is a shape point for black. White wants to prevent this at all costs. So by playing here, he prevents nothing, and black gets to play the shape point that he wanted in the first place. Right? White will get his extension. But look at how beautiful this situation is for black now. Black gets everything he wanted. He gets perfect shape, he gets a huge corner, and he gets to flow around the side. And all white gets is a crappy 3-space extension. So that's definitely not good for white. It's huge for black. It's a pretty crappy exchange, right? Black gets a lot more than white does. Here's another example of white kind of screwing up the Joseki and black being able to punish it. So we go here, and then white plays up, black plays properly, and now we have white playing fine, and then black playing properly here. But now white wants to try to push underneath. Get black 9 here. White wants to fix the shape, and then white wants to jump up and take this nice area here. White could jump out here. Again, if you look at it, point wise, black's a bit ahead, but black really has no weaknesses. Black's alive. White still has some weaknesses, right? There's some little moves you can play around here. Black can also, it's black sente, right? So black can play a move like this, or even like this, and force white to push a little more. And then when white pushes a little more, and maybe play something like this or this. Either way, black's got huge potential, and white's potential is kind of cramped. So, not very good for white. There's 2 more mistakes covered, so let's go over them, and then we'll work through the drills, and then we'll answer the question that I've had when I went through this, which is what happens during the cut. So we'll work through these. Hopefully by now, if you're doing these with me, you have an idea of the Joseki and some of the various mistakes, right? So black plays here, white plays proper, 6, right? Well, what happens if instead of the proper answer for black, which is here, what if black decides to cut? He thinks he's being pretty smooth. It's considered an overplay, and black's cutting stone is killed. Best black can do is try to get some kind of influence for it like this, and ends up playing it anyway. Problem is, white not only gets what he would normally get anyway, but he gets a nice kill, guaranteed eye shape. One more move, and white gets a nice wall this way. So this is very good for white. Black plays a mess up, ends up with something he would get anyway, and lost some stones. So not very great. Okay, and then we have one more example of white messing up. So we'll play the Joseki out here. Black plays proper. White plays proper. And then black cutting proper here. This is if white answers this cut improperly, it can actually work out really good for black. Okay, so let's say instead of just capturing the stone, pushing it down, white's going to push it out. That's very bad, right? So going to play here. White's worried about this weakness here, so he's going to play out here. Black could just run out as easy as he wants here, and now white will push, and black will push from staying in front. You can kind of see where this is going already. In both instances, white is pushing from behind. I mean, just look at how terrible this is. Second line territory, or third line territory, first line territory. Huge wall. This stone can't really do very much. I mean, at any time, black could play a net here. If he's really worried about it, he could play a ladder here, depending upon the rest of the board. But for the most part, he could probably just ignore, right? At any time, black could stop, but he wouldn't want to. He'd probably just want to keep running. So when you don't follow the Joseki, you could punish it. But if you don't punish it properly, it can get out of hand. And this is an example of that. So if you're pretty sure your opponent doesn't know the proper response to that and you want to try a cut, you know, do so at your own risk. But this shows that sometimes not following the Joseki will work, and sometimes it won't. And then the questions, the quiz questions of what we just learned, right? Let's do the Joseki itself one more time. So attach. When there's an attach, there's a hane. When there's a hane, there's an extend. And then he's cutting off the vital point. And then fix weakness. That's a general flow of Joseki, right? There's an attachment or an approach. There's a response. There's a shape point and maybe 2 or 3 shape point cuts, and then there's fix your weakness, continue the exchange. The reason this is considered a pretty even exchange is because white has sente now. Otherwise, I think black has a little bit of a better position, but because white has sente, you know, it's considered nice for both of them, which is why it's Joseki. And Joseki is some type of equal exchange, is a good definition of Joseki. Not perfect, but a good definition. So now that we've reviewed this, let's do this once more. And so the quiz asks us, and I'll ask you, and then black plays up. What happens if white plays in, black plays down? What happens if white plays this way? Is that bad? What do you do? Well, from what we just learned, this would be where black would answer. And then white has to fix his shape. It's not ideal for white. I mean, this is pretty massive. Next question: if white I'm sorry, black plays up, white plays over, black plays up. What's white's next move? Well, white wants to fix his weakness, so white's next move's here. What's black's next move? Well, obviously, if you remember the Joseki, black's next move is here, right? What happens if we go this far back and black decides to cut here? White's next move, quiz. Come on, what's white do? Come on, what's it do? White's going to kill the stone. Black tries to save it, white kills it. Black's trying to get something out of it. White fixes, and then black ends up playing what he should have played in the first place anyway. So there's your answers to the different quiz questions. There's a few more, but I think you get the picture. And then my question when this plays, because we've talked about this in my Go Club, what happens during the cut? And I'll show you the cut, what I'm talking about, in case you're not thinking it already. To me, it's blaringly obvious and you know, pretty crazy. So this cut, going this way, right? What happens if white tries to cut here? And then white cuts through. What happens? I mean, how it's obviously bad for white because that's not how the Joseki goes. So what goes on there? Well, I'll give two different examples, and then from the examples, hopefully we could figure out exactly what's going on. So this is an example of the cut. Sorry guys, I'm getting texted and it's messing with me. Actually, I don't think I screwed it up per se. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm actually trying to read this upside down to keep it at the right corner. So let's we'll stop it and we'll add the whole board to this. So give me a second. I'm back. Here's my hand. I noticed that you can't see entirely the whole board, but you could see everything of importance. This is the corner it's going to be played in. So let me make sure you can at least see this whole corner. And the rest is, for the purpose of this, is not going to matter so much. It's an opening where the person messes up. So let's do this here. Very popular this afternoon for some reason. And then 4. Okay, now here we go with the approach. So we got 6. All right. So everything proper so far. And then the cut. What happens with the cut? Why is this so difficult for me to follow for some reason? Alright. There we go. 13. Okay, when this happens, black realizes he's running a little low on liberties. So black plays here. And then white has to fix his weakness here. Right? And then black continues going after this stone. Trying to wait from slipping out. I'll jump here. Just gonna stop it. Alright, 7. Here. And then here's the kicker right here. And black plays here, killing the cut. It's a little bit of a complicated situation, but if you really look at it, you know, in this capturing race, it's not very good. It's not very good at all. So this is, I won't play the other one out because it's similar to this. It's just what if after cutting a different variation of moves play. But this is an example. If you're going to play this Joseki, you should learn this because you need to learn how to handle when somebody does do the obvious cut, which most people I think will do. Every time I do this I get cut, and I don't know this variation, so I'm hoping to memorize this. But cutting is wrong. I guess if you have a stone there, it changes everything, but for the most part, cutting is wrong, and this is what will happen. Let you guys take a couple seconds to kind of read this out. I mean, how would this play out? Well, white can't play down here, right? It's suicide. So, if white wants to try to capture this group here, since he can't play down here, he's got two options. He could play here and try to kill these stones, or he could play here. Let's just play one of them out. Let's play here. So now these stones are still not in Atari, right? So playing there won't work. So the other option would be to play here, kill these stones here, right? And so now black puts him in Atari again, or not quite. Right, so let's see. So this would probably be the move, right? White tries now to do it. It doesn't work. So, you know, white captures, and then black puts all these stones in Atari. White doesn't want to be captured. He plays here, and black kills it all. This is just one. All these white stones are done. This is just one variation. But all in all, black's going to win because white screwed up and didn't play the Joseki properly and just cut through instead of fixing his weakness and then cutting through and trying. So that's it for this video. We just made it through Joseki 2. Like I said, there's another variation of what you just saw, but I think that's plenty complicated enough. It definitely is for me. In the next Joseki 3, we're going to cover a pincer Joseki, which is the common 3-3 invasion. And I'll just give you a real quick preview of what to expect for the next video. It's very common. I'm sure you guys have seen this before if you've looked at any kind of games. Let's see if I can get this webcam. It's proving to be quite a pain in the butt. Alright, let's see. Yeah, alright, we can do this one. Now, where are we? Here? Alright, we'll do it from way up here. So, and it's going to be a tight pincer. Black's going to jump in the corner. Look familiar yet? This is the Joseki. Sorry about the stones, my angle's weird. But this is a Joseki that we're going to go over the next video. So this is your, I guess, warning or foreshadowing of what we're going to go over next. I'm excited about this. I play this a lot, and I know I don't understand a lot of the ins and outs, how to punish mistakes. So hopefully the next video will cover this and make you know, the different mistakes known to me, how to punish other people when they do something wrong, how to avoid being punished myself when I screw up, etc. Hopefully there'll be different combinations, how to deal with that one little black stone that's, you know, just seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. I know that creates some aji. You could do some stuff with it. That's about it. Everything's going good. Hopefully this video will be helpful to you guys. Hopefully you pulled out your stones and your board and worked through this with me, because I already feel like I understand those last two Joseki a lot better. And hopefully that's the point of this. So hopefully you feel the same way. If you have any criticisms, questions, comments, I got my email working again. My email's been down. My Droid phone updated, and my sync with all my emails are messed up. So it's been like a month. Figured out how to fix it. As soon as it got fixed, I got like 1,000 emails. So I'm way behind. I'm slowly erasing. So if I haven't got back to you in a while, I apologize. Hopefully everything's good with you guys. Everything's pretty cool in the Go world. We've got the Jubango going on between Lisedo and Goli. Should be excited. That's about it. If you guys have any questions, comments, criticisms, send them my way, and I'll see you later. Thanks. Later.